Hey, good morning, everybody. How are
Good
we
morning.
doing?
Good
Doing good.
morning,
Good
you
It's
lovebirds
morning.
out
Friday.
there.
Oh, happy Friday. Busy week this week, huh?
Nothing going on. Nothing whatsoever.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but it's busy for me.
Yes, very busy. Very
Yeah,
busy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, to the point where I woke up this morning and went, boy, glad it's Thursday. Got to figure out what we're going to do for the live stream on Friday tomorrow. And then I looked at my calendar. I'm like, oh, it's Friday today. Okay. So
I'm
sorry
just
for the
glad
late
it's not
notice,
me.
everybody.
There must have been something in the air about this week though, because I had that same issue of like trying to plan out. Oh yeah, we're going to do this on this day, this day, this day, and then being like, but we're already on the third day, so I can't do the first two anymore because those days have passed.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
weird time warp or something.
I feel like we all of us realized collectively, oh, we're 2.5 months, like we're a month and a half into 2026. Like we're
Right.
2 weeks out from the next crazy conference season. Like I don't know about you guys, but that realization hit me like a wall. It's like, okay, I gotta get my ducks in a row so that when the travel starts, I'm ready. Like
Uh,
crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna admit, like I spent a good chunk of time in the last week or the last couple weeks preparing my mobile studio and setting up lights and like we just did a big move. So like I got all this stuff. Like where the heck are my cords and cables and oh my gosh, it's crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah,
Crazy.
I spent some time yesterday, guys. I'm really excited about it. If you guys are attending the pre-cons that I'm doing in March, you're gonna get a very front row seat to this. But I've got a Python script now that is able to scrape Lego data off their website and get all the pricing changes for different Lego sets.
No.
Yeah, I'm
What?
so excited. It's so cool. So, just a little teaser. If you come, you get to see
Need
it
to
and you
sign
actually
up
get it.
for pre-con. Okay.
It's gonna be amazing. I'm very excited.
Yes.
Yeah, Johnny, you're right. Kevin is going to be at Sequel Bits. Um,
Yes.
I am not going to be there. I don't know. Jared, are you going? I know.
Sequel bits? No. Nope.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
at MVP Summit yet. I think Chris, you're
MVP
the only one
Summit's the
going.
week after Fabric or FabCon. I think I'm
Yeah.
going. Are you not going? Are you going? No.
No, my husband and I determined last year after multiple 2 week trips that 1 week is enough. 2 weeks back to back away from home, it's just too much. You start to get stressed out. You're not actually enjoying anything. So
Yeah,
decided just to do FabCon.
I feel like this is more of a test of endurance than anything that's going to be enjoyable or yeah, it it'll be
It's
very
great.
fun to meet people and see stuff, but it'll be a lot. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll be at FabCon. I'll be presenting there. It sounds like I actually might now have two sessions at FabCon, so more to come on session two as that's shaping up. Jared, you're gonna be at FabCon. You've got a couple other conferences coming up, right?
Yep. Chicago the weekend before. Actually, yeah, it's gonna be a very condensed schedule for me. So Chicago the week before, then I fly from Chicago to Atlanta. Present on Thursday, and then I think Wednesday I'll be hanging out in the community lounge. So make sure you stop by the community lounge. Great place to connect with people and find out exciting things that are going on. There's usually swag all over the place. That's a good place to get it.
So many
Um,
stickers.
Yep. And then Friday, I sneak off from FabCon to Alpharetta to do Sequel Saturday for Precon on Sequel, and then Saturday I will be doing a presentation on PySpark. So it is a jam packed week for me.
Oh, that's
No,
exciting.
I will not be going to Summit right after that.
Yeah. I see an interesting post in the comments here about Johnny getting some data vault books. I gotta tell you, I am growing increasingly fond of the vault methodology for the silver layer.
Oh,
Star still at gold, but vault as a defined schema and strategy for how you manage business rules, historical values, that type of stuff. That seems like that works out really good for a lot of different use cases. So I kind of like that combo.
it sounds like a future video where Johnny, we might need to steal you in the middle of
Yeah.
your day
As soon as
so
you
we can
finish
hear
that
about
book.
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He just got the books, therefore he's the expert. All right, Johnny, you're on the docket now.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I want the discussion. I want to
Yes.
know like what led him down that path. All that good stuff. So I'm curious. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh boy, we got lots of people going to the community lounge. It's great, great. Oh, look at this. Yes, Johnny, you're spot on. It's a fantastic methodology for because, and here's the reason I like it, and this is not the purpose of the live stream, so I won't go too deep into it. But you have a clearly communicatable, and I can't grab it easily. It's a little too far for a live stream, but you've got the book on the star schema where you could
Yes.
say these are our standards for gold, and you have a 500 page book that sets forth how to handle all of the situations in the gold layer for how you manage it. Well, okay, now I would like something similar for my bronze layer. And if I just come up with my own thing, which I can do, but if I follow a defined schema that everyone just generally
Yeah.
accepts as like this is how it works and functions, I have those 500 page book type things I can just go to there as well and say, okay, hey, Vault is this layer, Star Schema is this layer, Bronze is matching source based and separated out by source, right? Like that completes the story and journey to me. So
Which is interesting. So I'll be honest, I don't know very much about data vault, but I do think that maybe I've accidentally already done it for my bronze and silver layers.
I'm going to tell
Is it
you,
basically by source? Is that
no
how
one
that?
on the planet has done Data Vault by accident.
Okay,
All
okay.
right, like
And
that.
this is me
You do
being
not
ignorant. I don't
fall
know.
to Data
Yeah.
Vault. You don't like bronze by source, which is not fault. That's just like how do we organize the stream of information that comes in, and you organize it by source, and your folders and your security models match that source, and I'm all in on the metadata framework for that stuff. That's
Yeah.
pretty good on a pattern. I don't think that has a name. I think that's just like, don't be dumb.
Standard.
This is what we
Yeah.
do thing. uh, but the silver layer has always been like this, like, well, we do our transformations and we put together our stuff, and I've got a flavor of it, and Jared's got a flavor of it, and Christina's got a flavor of it, and it's all different, and it's all like what we feel like, and like we can argue infinitely about the pros and cons of all of our strategies, and I'm just tired, like, like, like I don't have it in me to keep fighting over these things over and over again, because you're gonna have pros and cons of yours, and I'm gonna have pros and cons of mine, and like if we could just instead go to one standard that we can kind of all agree like this works at this layer, then we just do that thing and we don't have to fight and argue about like what that layer does. So that's my take on it, right?
Yeah, but that's always going to be the thing, is everybody's going to be like, well, yeah, but my version of it is my secret sauce. That's how my stuff is magically better than anybody else's, even though, to your point, Chris, it's never there's a perfect solution. There's always trade-offs to everything, which is kind of what's nice about going the bronze, silver, gold approach, is you get 3 options to basically go and pick the right approach for the right situation. but I've been in the exact situation. I feel like there's two things we can easily talk about in the data industry and argue about. One is what an actual dimensional model is, and the second part is what do you do with silver. We as a community, I would love for us to agree on it and come to a standard, which honestly standards have been so much on mindset lately because that's what a lot of what my presentation is on for FabCon. Like, it would be nice to have the standard, but I don't see anybody trying to get the committee going and saying, hey, ANSI, here's our medallion standard or whatever.
All right, here's our medallion standard. Silver is vault. we'll toss down that gauntlet.
We need we're gonna need another live stream for this.
Yes,
Chris,
yes, you're
'cause
right.
I have so many questions.
We're off topic here because today we're going to be talking about what or why I love fabric. And so while we're going deep into this stuff, we'll do Vault another time, and we'll have Johnny on at some point, and we'll talk about this stuff. But today we're going to be starting out with what are the things I love fabric. So in the chat, go ahead, post it right over there. Like, what is it that you love about Microsoft Fabric? I will kick us off, and then we'll go around the horn here, and we'll just have kind of a conversation. And I'm going to start out with the macro thing that I love about fabric. I'm not going to go too deep because then it would be, well, you'll see. But I love fabric because it's a truly unified data platform where I've got access to any of the tools and any of the little capabilities that I might need in order to solve any problem that I have with data, all in one place, all with one tool, all with one nice little price point, all secured, all governed, all accessible. And what that's done is it's allowed me to do, like, okay, hey, I've got a problem and a client gave us, 200 gigs of like bulk raw data. We need you to do analysis of this and produce a report at the end of a month. Okay, well, I create a lakehouse. I then did a whole bunch of transformations with Python. I then, create a warehouse, and I did all the stuff that I needed to do in there. I created a semantic model to help me with the management of it. And then I created a Power BI report that sits on top of it. And I did that all myself. I independently used whichever of the tools I needed for a given point in time to solve the challenge that I had. And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's one of the big reasons why I love Fabric, the unified platform. So
I feel like you took all the good ones, Chris. I'm like,
sorry.
That was inspirational, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clip that.
That's pretty big. But
I do agree with Johnny. I do also like the teal.
the color.
Yes.
It has a nice
great.
color.
But I do think there's something with Fabric that is very unique, even when I'm dealing with Synapse workloads or I'm working with, just plain old on-prem resources or Azure Data Factory. There is something that I think is continually getting better. I don't know if it's quite where I want it to be in Fabric yet, where all the walls seem to be a little lower to getting these things to work together.
Yeah.
Now, I give the caveat because I still run into some things, right? Like, especially in edge cases where maybe I'm a guest user instead of a full user. Now I have different hurdles I'm jumping over to get Fabric to work with itself. But those are edge cases, right? I'm going to have that in any platform. But on the whole, the fact that I can query across multiple workloads because it all lives in one lake is hugely powerful. And it's very exciting.
I feel like having everything in one spot, it takes what for a lot of organizations have been foundational issues of data sprawl and data silos, and at least says, all right, maybe like, we talked about Bronze Layer, you might still organize things by source. So there's still technically silos, but now you're at least in one place to solve the problem, which a lot of times I think for engineering builds I've had is usually the biggest problem, is getting everything in a single spot just to start with. That's why many organizations go and they build that operational data store.
Yeah.
because at least that solves problem one of, okay, let's get all the data in one place, with the hope that if you get all the data in one place, now you can start the process of merging data together from different sources and building out dimensional models and all those things. It still starts from that same spot. And that's at least one of the things that I especially appreciate about it is I feel like it's evolving. It's gotten better in the past 2.5 years, but Fabric trying to focus on making that first step easier to get data into Fabric and to build that single area of OneLake where all of your data is stored. Like you've got the mirroring, you've got the shortcutting, you've got copy jobs now, you've got open mirroring. That's a whole lot of different options to support how to solve step one. And without solving step one, bringing everything else in takes more time. So I love that unified nature of things, because unified approach to get data in, unified place to store it, and hopefully then you can then define a unified plan of how you're going to use your data from there.
And I think too, like you said, with so something I've recently seen is a lot of people making their own AI apps, right? So their own websites, their own whatever you want to call them, that are driven by vibe coding, right? Which I don't think is a bad thing. I think we've needed things that don't require workarounds for quite some time. But with that, I think that we are going to run into the issue of silos so quickly again. So having something like Fabric where your AI workloads can land their data for all these different tools that are being built is going to be huge, right? We still need one place to find everything. We need one place where if so and so leaves the company, it didn't live on their computer. We still need these things. And I think that's going to be even more vital. I love the teal. Thanks, Chris. That's funny. I was like, why did he change it? And I was like, oh, it's teal. That's great. Yeah.
So these are the things I do during live streams. I look up new theme files based upon your comments, and then I add them in. So,
that's great.
Or is it all AI driven?
Oh man. AI empowered. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say I really agree with that. I've seen multi-million-dollar projects get derailed because on multiple occasions because a key data scientist or a key data engineer left the organization, and oh my gosh, they didn't check their code in, and their system is automatically wiped by policy, and crap, now we have to redo 6 to 12 months of work because that brainiac who was super smart and super knew all of the things was not super diligent on checking code in, and now that project is really in trouble. And I like Fabric for the OneDrive, or I'm sorry, for OneLake, because it's the same thing. It keeps all the data there, but I also like Fabric because it makes it super easy for all the people to put all their notebooks out in a service that's commonly accessible. You're not worried about having to run PySpark notebook searches on their hard drive because maybe it's out there, right? Like, for example, hey, Jared, congratulations. Jared has a new job, right?
Which is what I thought you were hinting at with the busy week thing.
Very excited for Jared.
A week off. That's been a very light week for me.
Yeah. Light week for Jared, a little heavier for me, but totally fine, right? Like, just not a problem. But I don't really have a lot of fear that Jared has, like, on his laptop all sorts of code and projects that, like, I now have to try and recover because all of this stuff is in the service. It's all traceable. Like, I've got access to all of this stuff, and I see all Jared's code, and it's all right there, right? Like, I know it's there. I'm not I'm not afraid that, oh no, we're going to be in a bad position because Jared left. I mean, we're happy that you found a new position, right? Like, I would love for you to have stayed,
Right.
you know, like the whole thing. But you know,
I'm
like
just
I'm
gonna
not,
get some popcorn while you
Yeah.
guys chat about this some more.
I'm not worried about, you know, someone leaving, which I've seen been a problem in the past, right? So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unified platform, at least you're making sure that if nothing else, it's not like, oh yeah, it's sitting on somebody's laptop and they've got some really weird configuration on that laptop to make all this possible. Like that whole part is visible. And I think what comes with that too, and Johnny made a really good comment on that in the chat
Yeah.
earlier, is what innately is coming with that is you're getting more of the collaboration I think we've been seeking for as an industry for some time, of business user or end user interactions with technical staff and collaborating more directly, because now the engineering and the Power BI stuff is all happening on the same platform. So
Yeah.
you're getting so much more talking, but it's happening to the point where, like, all right, we're tech people, we have to support the platform, we have to be ready to support any aspect of Fabric now. But I think in some cases you're starting to see the end users too that are now like, here are some of these other tools. Hey, tech people, are there certain things that we could do here and maybe come up with a game plan for all of these things? And the answer isn't just turning into, no, we're tech people, blah, 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 blah. I control everything. No, actually, like, they're like, oh, yeah, hey, so here's some things you can do. Just keep it in this space. And then I have some visibility into what you're doing. That's all we really ask for as tech people.
Yeah.
It's nice to have both tech people and non-tech people growing their skill sets on the same platform for the goal of better collaboration.
Well, and I'll be honest, the first time I had someone in the business who was a business analyst, who was a process was reviewing like operational processes and was not in IT and was a functional business person who came in wanting to use Python was a decade ago, right? Like they're teaching Python in business school to business graduates and have been for over a decade. And so by not giving them an ecosystem where they can easily go in and run Python and do stuff, what that's meant is they've
Made
still
their own.
done it. They just did it isolated and out away from, you know, out of your line of sight where you couldn't see what was happening and you had no idea what was going on. So I think that was a big challenge. And what that then led to is them using all sorts of crazy formats for like, where's their code? What tools are they using? What's the format their data is being stored in, right? Like, oh, it's this brand new, like, whatever margarine style format that no one knows about. Was it Parkgate? Or whatever, right? Like,
That took me way too long. Oh my
So
god.
funny.
Sorry. But you know, with Fabric, everything gets stored in Delta files, right? Like we know that it's the code is there, the data is there, and the data is stored in a format that we can all use. So I'm very excited about that with Fabric. I'll bring up my other thing that I love about Fabric, but this is kind of, I'm gonna admit this is a love-hate piece of Fabric. I love that Fabric has a shared CU model that makes it very easy for us to purchase capacities that people can run and dynamically use, and then we just manage those capacities. I think that's fantastic. It means you can just kind of figure out what your block of compute is, and you're up and running. I hate that there is no local processing option in Fabric where I could use my AMD like what the heck is my Ryzen Fire 84 billion 69 core, you know, 40 gajillion gigahertz processor to run whatever files I want to run locally. So I could, you know, test stuff out, play with it, and not have to worry about impacting capacity.
The
So
live compute, yeah.
yeah, I love the CUs and the shared model. I think that's great. I would really wish there was a just a local version.
Yeah. Or even something I keep wishing for, and I think it's coming. It's if it's not coming, it might be here already. But being able to separate the workloads out in your capacity as well.
Mm,
So like, okay, I have mission critical workspaces.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but I don't have enough money for duplicate capacities.
Yeah.
I would love it if I could say, hey, anything from here
Is
takes
priority.
priority. Hmm.
Yeah. That
At
I
X% of my capacity usage, I want you to start queuing everything behind these. Yeah,
right.
something like that.
And it's like, okay, each of these, different business workspaces, at most they get is 5%, right?
Yeah.
You get 5, you get 5, you get 5, you get 5, right? That's
Oh,
the most
analyze in Excel, the ultimate capacity killer. I'm telling you.
right. Yeah.
Every time I
Yeah.
go in, I'm like, are you kidding me? What model are you hitting against? Anyway, I'm sorry. Keep going,
I
Chris.
honestly, the other one that I say this because I'll be putting out a video on this next week. Some of the big thing too that I've run into is the Copilot experiences. Like,
Yeah.
and I think especially because that's still an area where people are getting very well accustomed to the chat experience. But I think especially a lot of tools out there don't provide a lot of good visibility into, all right, you're having this chat experience. How many tokens are you consuming with this prompt for what you put in? How much tokens did you consume as far as output goes? And like, I had a very interesting time trying to film my video for next week because I sorry, Chris, but I maxed out my capacity again a couple times.
I saw
But
that.
there was no visibility into how much I was consuming. I didn't run into it until suddenly, like, I was chatting, and then the Copilot said, "Sorry, I ran into an error. Sorry, I can't do that." I'm like, "But why can't you?" And it can't answer the question. And then finally, I tried to go and do something else, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, you maxed out your capacity." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Okay."
Yeah.
So I like the unified CU structure, but I agree I would love to at least, like, all right, CUs is a unified structure. What is a CU? How do I easily understand how I'm going to consume it all?
Oh yeah, if
Yeah.
you guys are going to FabCon, I do have a whole session on licensing, so I'm very
You're
excited
just
about that.
remembering that. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I have to go through and remember what I'm doing at each conference before I just tell people like, oh yeah, I'm doing that one. It's like, but where? Like, just because I'm driving all across the country doesn't mean everyone else is, you know? So
Well, and
um
Pete does bring up a good comment that
yes.
I think a lot of people forget is that you can mix and match licensing types to achieve a lot. Like for example, you can use Pro, you could still use PPU for your semantic and your Pro layers. If you're in a smaller customer you can't afford multiple capacities. I mean, honestly, look at what it costs for PPU. Like if you've got 100 or 200 users, the capacity you're talking about spending 2,000 to 4,000 a month on pro capacity or PPU capacities, which gets you $20,000 a month in compute, right? If you're to try to get that same compute for your semantic models in Fabric, you'd spend 20 grand a month. Well, don't spend 20 grand a month. Buy the PPU license and get them in on that path, right? So there's still some complexity to the capacity models, but there's a lot of combinations you can use to make this very price effective and cost effective. And um, so yeah, while I it's a love hate thing, right? Like I
Yeah,
love it, but I hate that it's not as simple as it could potentially be. So
100%. Yeah.
Agreed.
awesome. All right, okay. Jared, what's one thing that you love about Fabric?
What I like especially about Fabric, if you see me give my talk on lessons learned from Fabric, this has been one of the biggest ones. Uh, I like how easy Fabric makes it to have a strategy of innovation around your analytics. The ability to say, hey, I've got the strong foundation of data, medallion, dimensional model, and all these reports, but now I've got this new problem that I need to solve. How do I go about and do that? Like, for a lot of organizations, that's where the conversation turns into, all right, well, we don't have any hardware or software necessary for things. We have to figure out how much we're going to provision, which means you have to have an idea up front about how you're going to do this. And then we're going to make a bunch of capital expenses to get you the hardware and software necessary for that. And then you're going to actually try it. And maybe if you're lucky, a year and a half to 2 years down the road, you finally have a proof of concept that says, yes, this is possible. But Fabric changes that dynamic specifically by saying, hey, when you've got your foundation in place and, oh, we've got this new streaming source that we need to work with, you don't need to buy new hardware. You don't necessarily need to provision new Azure resources, although you could go it that way in terms of architecture. You could say, hey, there's this whole real-time intelligence section of Fabric that suddenly you can just create objects under the same resources. So you already passed the capital part, and you can already start building out your solution. And suddenly, within a month of you having the idea, you've got a working proof of concept that works well with your existing data structures and says, hey, this is what we can do, and this is where the value is. That time to innovation for many organizations holds them back from saying we can broaden our horizons with how we do it with data, and so we just are going to stay in our own little box, and that's all that we do, because it's too much effort to break outside the box. Fabric breaks the box wide open and says, you can, if you have an idea, go for it. Make sure you monitor your CU consumption. But beyond that, go and try it. Be willing to fail and fail quickly.
I absolutely love that, Jared. You're spot on, right? You've got your reports that people are consuming. You've got your semantic model that aggregates the data from it. But you've got all these sources that are feeding into that semantic model, and you can try new things to feed into that semantic model. And when that new thing comes up, be it real-time streaming or, I don't know, I'm going to make up something here, a data house, right? When we get tired of lake houses and warehouses, and we invent a data house, or whatever it is that comes up next. You try it, you experiment with it. If it works, fantastic. You just change the source that's feeding that semantic model. Your reports continue to function, everything continues to run, but you gain that benefit of whatever it is that new data house now provides you inside your solution, right? And I think we've seen that with the advent of real-time streaming, like you're talking about. I think we're seeing that with things like Cosmos DB integration. We're seeing that with like the graph connectors and the ability to like automatically connect into Entra ID groups and be able to pull that across the graph. This opens up and transforms the way we think about working with data in ways that we just couldn't do it before.
100%.
Yeah. Yep. It opens up so many doors. And I mean, again, the time that it takes to do that, is so simplified. And I think that's where I would love to see Fabric continue to go into this space of, like, we've been getting a really good cadence of really significant features being added in. RTI, like you said, Cosmos DB. Like, these aren't just small updates to the product. These are huge opportunities to change, and especially for certain technologies that for many organizations are still new to them. So focusing on having that easily available in your platform is good. Then all you have to do as an organization is just say, how are we going to support a strategy that says that we regularly are kicking the tires on these new features and seeing what works for our organization? You do that, Fabric is going to be a wonderful ecosystem for you to work in.
Yeah, you're spot on. And I well, I'll turn over Christina. Christina, to piggyback on what we're talking about here, but to like slightly change subjects. What is one of the things that you love about fabric?
Yeah, this is going to sound really cheesy, but I truly mean it. I love the community.
Mm.
I feel like even just in this chat, I was like, that should be great if this exists. And Jake is like, it exists. Where else am I going to get that? Like, that is incredible. I absolutely love that. I love that Dean is also like, it just came out last month, so don't feel too bad. Like, I get asked all the time, how do you keep up? And my answer is I don't. I still Yes, literally. Our group is so great. I feel like I was even just talking to my husband about this the other night. Is it can feel so isolating as a consultant where you're working by yourself. You're working maybe by yourself on a project and nobody else knows what you're doing. Nobody like especially if you're working with a primarily business unit who you're constantly translating the work you're doing into their language, which is great, but you just feel like nobody quite gets what you mean all the time. And then to come here and like just throw out a problem and someone's like, I know exactly what you mean. I know there's a solution. Here's where you find it. Go and be, you know, be successful is just really powerful, and I don't see it happening in a lot of other platforms.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think that's becoming increasingly important because the platform's growing so fast. There's so many changes happening. Well, I've even found that the AIs are struggling to keep up with the rate of changes on
Yeah.
the platform, where it's like, no, you can't do that. That's been a common issue that's existed since '97. And you're like, well, or 80 or 2017. Well, hang on. Yeah, the majority of articles talk about that being an issue, but it was fixed last week. And
Yeah.
Jake happens to know it, and he brought it up, and Dean references the article in place where you can go find it. So
Well, and
that
Jake
is
even
it.
gave a person who wrote about it, like
Yeah.
somebody has already thought through how this could work, how this can work well. Like, I'm going to be reading that after we get off today. Like, that's going to be my next thing. And I just find that to be priceless. Like, I have thought a lot about, like I talk to people a lot about other platforms, and one of those is Databricks. And I hear about it a lot. I hear it's amazing. And they also
Hmm.
have a very good community. And I just would have a very hard time, I think, leaving this one to go over there, right? Like, I think eventually my career might take me into both camps, but until it does, I'm happy. I like what we've got. So, in the world of AI, it is really nice to have some humans.
Well, and
Ain't
especially that comforting state of like, suppose that future does come and you had Databricks, you already know you won't be going into that alone. You
Yeah.
already
Mhm.
know there are other people out there who are doing things, who are figuring out these approaches to doing things, and then you'll just kind of gel in with all of that as well. And for as unified as this sort of solutioning is nowadays, we all know none of us can master all of it. So the only way we can master all of it isn't singular, it's plural.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
means the more people we have focus on this, the more likely we'll actually get to the point of saying, all right, I can't master fabric, but we can.
Yeah.
And then we'll do crazy
Yeah.
awesome with it.
Even AI is going down that route. Have you guys seen the Claude team thing that just came out? It's like
No.
No.
basically little agents that all can work together on a project. And so
Mm.
like it's really cool. It takes a lot of CUs. We'll see if they figure that part of the equation out, but it is really cool. And I think the fact that even AI is going to the point of you can't just have one thing working on something just proves how much we also need each other, right? Like,
Yeah.
Ooh,
these
Yep.
are these are
I might want to
yeah.
follow up with you on that then, because gosh, it was what, 2 maybe 3 years ago. I saw Gene Joseph had a nice
Oh yeah.
um he has a presentation on the circuit where he he does something like that, but it's like he's pretty much setting up that farm of agents himself and like all the documentation and such. It was a really fascinating use case. If you're curious about that, Gene's presentation is for you on that. But yeah, if there's been any advancements on that, I'd like to see that, because I agree. I mean, AI in and of itself is about, neural nodes and all like hive minds of computers talking with one another. Taking it the next step and doing agents, well, we like building our layers of architectures anyways, so it just seems like the next natural layer.
Yeah. Well, and it's more, so I see even Donald's putting in the chat things about Copilot agents. It's not agents. It is truly like multi-threading work. So it's more like I had a friend of mine, he spoke at our user group on Monday, and we were talking about it, and he showed me a demo of it, and basically he was able to have it create a team, and he would tell it what team members he wanted. So it was like, I want a front end developer, I want a back end developer, I want a devil's advocate, I want somebody who won't know anything about the tech but just wants to use the tool, and I want someone to be really UX focused. Super cool. And he was able to make like a website that did something. It ran out of, like I said, it ran out of capacity before it finished, but he gave it a really, really broad, really broad scope. So if you're curious about how to use AI, don't do it like that. Give it very specific little little things you want it to do. But in theory, it was awesome because we could see its thought process. We could see it talking to itself. So like the front end developer and the back end developer were working together to solve problems. It was really interesting. And it just reminded me, like, that's how we need to work.
Well, that's very true. But I think that also plays into another reason why I think we're talking about why we love Fabric. And that goes to like a comment Donald just had, hey, Microsoft might not be the best at something on day one, but having an integrated solution that's all tied together in one common place that has the common capabilities, that you're not going to have to tie all this stuff together some way by hook or by crook. You're gonna just have it all integrated. And I used to have I've got a book someplace that says, okay, first thing Microsoft rolls out kind of sucks, then it becomes meh, and it's like okay, and then it becomes great. Well, just figure out where you're at on that scale. If it sucks or meh and doesn't do what you need, just don't do the thing yet. Wait a minute. Don't tell me you're so pressed on this one topic you can't go work on something else for 6 months or a year or whatever the heck it is that it takes to get to enterprise grade. And then come back to it, right? Having that integrated solution that does all the things, right? Like, have you seen Fabric IQ? Like, Fabric IQ does so many things that, I struggle to talk about it because so much is under NDA that I can't. I'm not sure I can.
That's why I said nothing just then, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But all of this stuff is coming. All of these things are going to be directly tied in and integrated. As Bogdan said on the interview I did with him, if you haven't watched it, I should probably plug these more often, but go watch the interview with Bogdan. I've got I'm doing a series of videos with all executives at Microsoft and leaders. So watch these videos. I can't get any of them to break NDA, unfortunately. I keep trying, but they keep, they're smart. I can't outsmart them. They're smart cookies. But they are all great at setting you up in the direction that you should be working on now, right? Okay, what's the number one thing we're going to need a year from now? A great freaking semantic model that's been optimized and tuned for AI. Well, okay. There is no one watching this video right now and no one watching this replay a year from now that has a great semantic model that's prepped and 100% ready for AI. You've got to go out and do that. That's your number one goal. And it's going to take you a year to do all of that work to get that in place. Well, start now. Start now as you're watching this. Don't worry about this other crap. You can get that ready now. Get going on it, right? And that's why I love Fabric, is it makes it really easy to see, I'm going to have all the capabilities that I need. It's all integrated. Invest the calories in the things that are ready for me right now, and the AI is going to just kind of do the things I want it to do when we get to that point.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Microsoft gets Copilot there, or what I think could be likely is they partner with somebody who is more focused on the AI pieces and they leverage that for Copilot. We'll see. I have no NDAs on this. I got no idea what's going to happen, so don't listen to me. But I do have a hard time. I do have a hard time not equating some aspects, not all aspects, some pieces of what Copilot does to the Windows Phone. And I loved the Windows Phone, but it did not succeed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I have
that Windows
concerns about
Phone
that.
team really needed some Nero gum with caffeine, L-theanine, and B vitamins that would have given them the energy and clean focus to really push that over the hurdle. Nero gum. Use Kratos BI checkout for 0% off. They're not a sponsor. They're just a fan.
That's again 0. And once again, 0.
We need one of those like spinny 0, 10 off.
Thanks, Donald. I'm a bad sponsor or a non-sponsor. I almost forgot them until Donald reminded me to make sure.
Well, Jack started it. I saw it pop up, but I was like,
did he?
"Oh man, we're late." Yeah.
If they were nudging us, nudge, wink, wink. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Say no more.
So funny.
It's funny. I get on calls with customers now, and they're like, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. We really got to find a person at Nero and just. I'm sure you've reached out to them already, but
I have. Our channel's so small. I mean, they're used to dealing with huge influencers and.
No, I mean like, not for our channel, for the conferences.
Oh, yeah, just that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay. All right. We I think we got time for one more thing that we love about Fabric. Jared, do you have one for us?
I'd say at least so one thing I want to jump off of talking community, but at least a specific aspect of community is like a lot of the innovation and such is going on in something like Fabric, but it's not necessarily happening in the sort of vacuum that we'd expect to see of, all right, version of SQL Server, wait 2, maybe 3 years, version of SQL Server, and that cycle. It's happening faster.
Yeah.
But I like calling, especially to the engine that I think is helping fuel that, Fabric Ideas, the Fabric blogs, the Fabric community website, aka what I call like generally the channels that are in place for us MVPs and community members and end users of the product to have direct lines of communication with Microsoft and some pretty significant people at Microsoft to say, hey, this product's in a pretty decent spot. Maybe it's in that version 1. It's all right. Here's what I think you need to do, Microsoft, to take it from that to that version 3 WoW version. And they're listening, and that's turning into updates. I feel like Fabric is just a great use case of that. I'm saying that personally for me too. Being on the SQL Server Management Studio bandwagon right now is another place where you're seeing it really popular. Like I think that's something we can't overshadow, and that's what I love about it is I feel like Microsoft is ears open on things. They are listening directly to genuine issues that customers have, and they're responding.
I had the same thought as Jake. I just looked it up. You said that it triggered something. Kim Manis has been posting, and so have a few other people at Microsoft, about joining the Fabric user panel. That is a great way to give very direct feedback. And they're looking for people who use Fabric and Power BI. It's, yeah, like Jake said, it's a one-on-one with the product team. Something that honestly used to be pretty reserved for partners and for MVPs. And so to have that opportunity, if you have things you want to talk about, sign up. They send you emails, it's not that much. You can opt in to the conversations you want, but it is incredible. I cannot stress enough how meaningful it is and just how much you can hear their side of things too. Like, you kind of get a
Well,
better picture of that.
and I'm going to talk specifically on the importance of this, okay? And this is brass tacks legally why it is critical for us to take part in these systems. Microsoft engineers can and product managers cannot work on features or functionalities unless they have a documented requirement that came from a user outside of Microsoft. The reason they cannot work on something that they cannot attribute to a specific person or organization or anything is so that they can't get sued for like monopolistic approaches, right? Like if
Yeah.
they could say, hey, Jared asked me to build this one thing. So they built that one thing. Databricks can't come along and sue them because Microsoft built a feature that looks similar to something that Databricks has, right? So like you have to give them that feedback to work on something, especially if it's, hey, I like this thing over here, but I want it in Fabric. Microsoft can't be looking at that thing over there and being like, well, Databricks does these 10 things. I'm going to go just do these 10 things. They'll get sued into oblivion. Like they go to great lengths to make sure they're not doing that thing. But that requires us to be providing them detailed things that we need them to be able to do, right? Like it's no secret. Every company runs that thing, right? Like, so be part of that panel. They will listen to you as long as what you come up with makes sense and is good. If what you're recommending and asking for is stupid, um, uh, most of them will be very nice and they'll go, oh, that's a very interesting ask. Let me put that in the backlog. And then they will not do that thing. Okay. Cause it's stupid. Right. Jay, on the other hand, if
Yes.
you get the chance to work with Jay and you ask him for something that's stupid, even if you've got a stupidly well thought out stupid ask, he will come back and go, that's dumb. I'm not doing that. And here's why we're not doing that. And he'll be very articulate. And you'll feel a little dumb for having asked for that such a thing. But you'll also understand and appreciate why, like,
He's
he's not
incredible.
gonna do that thing, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so be aware.
Yeah, the user panels is at least just the one option. Like that's the exact same mentality of why the ideas pages are so incredibly important. So if you're not getting out there and like if you're actively using Fabric and there are things that are bugging you about the product, if you're not actively going out to Fabric ideas and getting involved there and voting up things, like that is what turns into the sort of documentation Chris is talking about as another avenue. Like that has turned into some pretty significant updates on Fabric. That is why SSMS is also moving as fast as it is because that forum is very active right now with people voting up on things and bringing up new ideas. And I mean, it is the big things. It's not just like, oh man, it's a little ask. No, if you have a big idea, that's the place to go. Go there, get the votes.
Yep.
Microsoft will listen.
That is so very true. And you're right. And I think that also plays into the final thing I'm going to say that I love about Fabric is not just that they listen to us and that they implement these things, but they're doing it in a nonstop, consistent basis. And they've been doing it since 2015, 2014.
Yeah.
Like they've been doing it for like well over a decade. They have a proven track record of doing it, and this team, led by Arun and Amir, like this is ingrained into the way they work and operate. And not just that they listen to us, but they engineer the platform to be able to withstand and be able to take these types of features, because they have new features coming in all the time, millions of regression tests running all the time, ensuring that they don't break anything as these changes go in. And like, I mean, straight up, I can't think of a platform that has been able to manage that velocity of change with as few bugs and issues as we've encountered over the years. It's almost unbelievable that we're able to see this hitting us as, or these advances hitting all the time with so few issues that result in it. I mean, what was the latest one? Like the icons on the side of Power BI
Yeah.
were black. Like, oh no! Like,
Well, and that wasn't even from Microsoft, right? It was from another. Yeah. No, I feel you on that. I do feel like there are little things that will break, but I have yet to have a break that comes in that has taken down a system,
yeah,
and
Same.
that is critical.
Same.
yeah,
The worst I think I've had is just where I'm trying to architect things in a certain way, and it's not that it breaks, it's that the feature that I would need to make this possible isn't there yet, which is a very significant difference. And that's all the more why this community stuff is important.
yeah.
Is then that turns into, oh, okay, I have a use case. But yeah, I agree with you. I haven't had any major kablooies as
I
far as our
said that, and I immediately thought of one that happened this week. So.
oh
It
yeah,
was,
we never had an issue.
It was, to be fair, it was because I am a guest user. It was that experience, and yeah, I've undone my jinx, Johnny. I've jinxed myself in reverse, I guess. But the issue was that they added a new tenant setting, and
Mm.
until that tenant setting got enabled, it locked me out, and it was bad practice, right? I had asked for a service account. We don't have a service account yet, and so a lot of things were tied to my guest user. So when my
Oh.
guest user account could no longer use its connections, our pipeline broke.
Womp womp womp.
Yep.
But,
But it was recoverable because everything was loading into a bronze lake house. So as soon as we fixed that, we could reload everything. It was totally fine.
Huh?
But
Well, there you go.
yeah, resilient, But so,
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for talking about the things that you love about Fabric. This is, I mean, we could probably go on and on. You know, we've got a little bit of a crush going on here with this service. I, this is all well and good. Please make sure that you take time away from technology this weekend to spend it with the ones you love.
yeah.
They are far more important than Fabric. I guarantee you, Fabric is not capable of holding your hand when you're sick or when you're dealing with an issue. It is only going to be those around you that will be there for you when you have a real problem. So, but that's also the community. So, but spend some time this weekend with the ones you love. It is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So for all you guys who don't think about it, go buy some flowers, go buy some chocolate, go and here's my tip for Valentine's Day cards. Do not buy the first one that says wife on it. Like, pick up the card, open it up, read it, make sure that it like conveys a message that's relative to your significant other. You might have to grab 2 or 3. I mean, Hallmark is pretty good, but even they've got some that are not great. Buy the
I won't lie.
card. What's
I'm a
that?
fan of the Dollar Tree cards. I know that
Okay.
sounds crazy. I love the Dollar Tree cards.
Sure. Wherever you go, just grab a couple, make sure you've read it and then it makes sense. Buy the box of chocolates, buy the flowers. I mean, what was it? Minimum effort, right? Like, just make sure you put in the minimum effort. All right.
Yeah. Makes a big difference.
Yeah, it really does. All right. Even if she says she doesn't want anything, she wants that. Okay. All right. With that, thanks everybody. You guys have the best day ever. Peace. Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.